Hi, and welcome back to my journey. First, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who gave me a like or reached out to me. There was a few in particular that gave me some. Either one gave me a web address that is phenomenal, and actually I may do a video on that gentleman because I think it's worthy of that. But what I'd like to let's start with where I'm at. I am a week and 3 or 4 days now since my last cut. I started, and I'm not titrating, but I started diluting one of my pills for my afternoon dose yesterday. Tasted terrible. So instead of doing a whole 10 milligrams, because of the amount of water that I need to use to keep my titration kind of low, lower than a lot of people are doing, because I want to start there to see what it's going to be like. Just, kind of keep doing what I'm doing at the moment. I think I'm going to go to 5, dry 5 and dry, and then I'll cut it in half and I'll do the other half in water, and I'll titrate that away. It'll use less water, and I don't think it'll be quite as hard for me to get all in. 100 milliliters of water is a lot easier to drink than 200 milliliters of water. I know as you're taking it out, eventually it gets easier, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I'll also say it's interesting because I wasn't changing anything, and it's still there was some fear there. Putting it in the water and taking it differently, and it's amazing how much our minds get in there. Anyway, somebody who watches my videos apparently, I guess somebody gets something from my babbling from time to time, asked me. We talked back and forth actually, and they sent me their story, and the takeaway I had from it was, and that's what I want to talk about today is, and when I speak about males, please, ladies, don't. I know you have your own set. I just don't know exactly what they are, because it does seem like women are given a broader latitude for allowing to express their emotions, to cry, and that's acceptable. In some ways, it's actually a bad thing because people look at that as a weakness because you're the weaker sex, which we all know. God knows if it was up to us to have babies, the human race it never would have started. So you guys are the stronger of the two of us, no doubt. So again, please know that that's not where I'm going with this. But what I found interesting is, and validating to myself, which if I needed to hear it, I believe somebody else out there does, is that how much of a loser, I'm not going to quote directly, but a loser, worthless, just all the things that I've felt all along this journey that I've been on, especially, and I didn't know anything about tolerance withdrawal. I didn't know anything about, and I'm not going to sit here and blame the medications for 100% of everything, although maybe I should be. I don't know. Somebody can comment and say, I'm full of shit on that. But because I have to take responsibility for, this. I just do, or I'm not going to get through it. But it's just how dehumanizing it is and how you question yourself. You go into a doctor who, they're a doctor. That's what they do. And they say, basically, you're crazy. They don't say that at first, but they're like, you're having problems with anxiety, or maybe it's sleep, or for whatever reason you were put on, but you're having these issues, which, again, I'm going to keep saying this because it's my journey and it's what I've found. Our Western medicine doctors, they don't look at the holistic picture. If you've got a problem here, this is where they look. If you've got a problem here, this is where they look. They don't look at the whole body, the whole organism as a whole, and say, where else could this be coming from? It's like, okay, so I'm having some panic attacks. They don't look at, some of the things I've talked about, the MTHF gene mutation. They don't look at your diet. They don't look at the stressors in your life. Therapists do that. But even going to therapists, it's like, and this isn't getting off topic. Then I started seeing therapists, and it was kind of the same thing. It's like I watched other people get better. At least that's the illusion that I had, or at least that's what it looked like. Again, making me feel like, what's wrong with me? And I'm going up in medication, and I'm taking different meds, and now I'm on this psych med, and then I'm on that psych med, and just the amount of bouncing around that you do, and how it just wears at you, and you just every day until you just want to give up. It's just, again, getting back to the point of this was the dehumanization of it, the being, I need to take notes, but just anyway, the dehumanization, we lose ourselves. We no longer trust even our own feelings and our own thoughts and our own intuition of saying to ourselves, I'm not crazy. I'm really having these feelings and I'm not crazy. And when I took this medication, this is what it did. And yeah, that's just a side effect. It'll go away. No, this is, I remember I was put on a tricyclic antidepressant when I was younger, much younger, probably in my early 20s. And I told everybody the very first day I took it, I'm like, I can't feel anything from my knees down. It was in the middle, and it was at night I took it. And again, everybody was like, my mom, my parent, everybody, they were like, it's just in your head. It's just in your head. The next day, same thing. And then they're like, now double the dose. So I did. My heart went completely crazy. I ended up in the ER, bunch of shots of Valium. But then later found out that tricyclics can do that. I wasn't crazy. What I was saying was right. And the doctors, again, I think they mean well. I know a lot of people are, demonizing them completely, and maybe some of them completely know this, and they completely get this, and they're just not willing to let go of the paycheck they're getting. I don't know. I'm not going to go there with this video, but and the therapist too. It's sometimes it's like when you're doing cognitive behavioral therapy, and maybe it was different, but it was one of the ways that I looked at it. It was given to me was okay. Kind of like walking my houses. Just keep pushing, because you'll push through that fear and then you'll get further, and you'll push through that fear and you'll get further. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I think there's a place for that. But I also think that if you're going through benzodiazepine withdrawal, then maybe pushing to that next house is actually going to be more detrimental to you, because you've now, again, you just keep lowering your self-esteem and your whatever. And so maybe on the days where you feel like, okay, yeah, today's it's a window, or whatever you want to call it, or if you're finally getting lower, or just your body's finally healing, it's like, okay, that's when you push. Or maybe some people argue you don't do any of that stuff until you're completely done, which I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm going to continue to do, to keep myself exposed as much as I can, so I don't, and even working out. I mean, there's time. Anyway, I'm getting off topic a little bit, but just listening to him, guys out there, you can cry. You're no less of a man and I know people look at me going, oh yeah, you're so manly. I get that. But again, that's our society. Who says I'm not? No, I'm not The Rock. I'm not, any of the football players that you meet, but genetically I was never meant to be that. I played high school sports. Actually, and some people, if they see this and they're watching, like, well, no, you didn't. Yeah, I played my freshman year. I was captain of the JV squad in football, defensive team, and I quit. Why? I was in band. I had a girlfriend. I had other things that interest me more, and I was burned out. That and the coach was an asshole and wanted me to do steroids and whatever, and I wasn't going to do that. And at the same time, I was starting to have anxiety. Didn't know it, but I was. But again, everything I just said is egoic, though, and it's me trying to, which is my point, trying to say to society, I'm normal. I'm this box that you want me to fit in. I don't want to be in that box anymore, and none of us have to be. Girls, guys, and again, this is more. I'm aiming this more at guys. We're allowed the full breadth of feelings and emotions that everyone has. We're allowed to love. We're allowed to cry. We're allowed to accept that. And that's for me, that's one of the things of letting go. My last name, my father's he's passed away, but he was very Italian. Very Italian. The stereotypical, very loud, very larger than life, the macho, the machismo, all of that, all of those things, At the same time, he was a teddy bear, if you knew him. But I still always felt like I had to live up to that. And I think that's actually, I know that's hurt me as I've gone through this journey. And even now, I'm still trying to be that. And that's not who I am. I'm the person that's on this ring right now spilling out my guts because I want to help somebody else. I want to help myself, but I want to help other people. I'm very sensitive. I mean, that's the other thing. I think those of us, we've had some talks online about, being empathic, and I'll do a video on that, I guess. And I think I am. I think I'm very sensitive to other people's feelings. I think I'm very sensitive to just energies around me, of how people feel, how, I can put myself in other people's shoes very easily, which is a gift and a curse at the same time. But I think most of us going through this have that. I think every human being on the planet has that. It's just how much have you blocked it out. So again, not being egoic, I don't think I'm special. I just think it's something that, for me, has always been there, much stronger than for maybe some, at least that I've noticed it. And so agoraphobia, going into large spaces, having a lot of people around, I think that's part of the sensitivity that I feel, is all the emotions of the people around me. And it's just something that I have trouble with. Now, right now that, again, my nervous system has completely been napalmed. So hopefully that's going to get better. And then I'll start to learn to use that as a gift that was given to me. I believe that. I may have lost most of you at this point, because according to my things I have, but that's okay. But guys, man, you don't have to be what society, and women, I have a daughter, and I look at the commercials and just the stuff that women are subjected to, and how you're supposed to look, and what size figure you're supposed to have, and same for guys. It's no different. I mean, right now we just turned the new year, and everything is about getting in shape and getting bigger and having more stamina, and every boner pill and diet they can put out there. And we buy into it. And we need to let it go. We need to just be us. We need to say, in this new year, my resolution is to be happy, healthy, loving. Everything that I think I think every one of us, we were born to be and are. That voice in your head that tells you all the things that you're not. Some of you right now are sitting there and are having and today's one of the days I'm not having them. I haven't had them, really intrusively in a little while. But I have had that where it's just like, kill yourself, and why? Why is that voice there? But it was an Eckhart Tolle book that I read that really opened my eyes, that he realized that if he could hear that voice, he was actually the person behind that voice that was listening to that voice. So the ego isn't you. It's the us, and it serves its purpose of, while we're here in this physical body, but it's the true you is the person, or the energy behind that's listening. Take that for what you will, but for me that really opened my eyes, that to me, and the way I perceive that is, when I think with my heart, which I'm very much learning to do, and I feel with my heart and I express with my heart, that's my higher self. That's God. That's whatever you want to call it. When I listen to my mind and what it tells me, because of all the things that I've learned, and it depends on where you were born too. I mean, if I'm in the U.S., you may be in India, you may be. And it's just interesting how what's considered acceptable and whatever in one place is completely not in another. And again, we can get into religion and all the other things, but I'm not going to go there. But again, the voice, the part of you that's listening to the voice that's telling you how bad you are, how you should be, and those shoulds are all coming from things that we've learned from the TV, learned from our parents. And it's, again, not our parents' fault. That's the same thing that they were taught. But I really wanted to get this out there because I connected with another gentleman that just, as I read his story, I realized how much this just tears us down. It emasculates us. And it shouldn't. It's going to, I know it, but we need to work on that, and we need to change that to where there is no definition of what a man is supposed to be. In fact, I think the more I learn to love and the more I learn to appreciate my family and my daughter and the things like that, then the more of a man I actually am. Whether I could go out I'm not LeBron James. I'm 5'8". to begin with. And, you know, weight-wise, I'm nowhere near. And those are all things that actually really bother me. I'm afraid to step on the scale because, yeah, I've been losing weight like all the rest of you. I mean, some people gain weight when they're going through this. It just depends. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's all going to go away. We are going to get better. We're going to heal. And then if we don't like, because we truly don't like, if it's something that we've accepted who we are, and we just like, you know, I want to get in better shape, then we do. And you make that happen. You make it a priority. Right now our priorities are to get healthy. But I also think, this is going to make this go a little bit long, but I also think, just because I'm thinking off the cuff, that the more we focus on it, the harder it becomes. And I've noticed that just with me now heading towards this water titration, it's made me really more laser focused on this whole process, which I've noticed all of a sudden now I'm more anxious. I'm more, a lot of things, you know, all those, whatever symptoms you want to throw out there, I'm more of those things because I'm focusing on them. But as I'm doing these YouTube videos and I'm interacting with other people, and we're interacting in ways positively, which is, again, why the one gentleman that I was listening to, that, again, I think I'll devote a whole whatever to him and what he's done with his website to be positive through this. Because I think if you're, again, like I said in my last video, seek out people who are on the other side. Seek them out. They will tell you you'll heal. They'll tell you acceptance. They'll tell you let it go. Not because that's the name of my channel, but just everything that you thought you knew. And again, I think this is a spiritual growing process. Everything we thought we knew about ourselves and that we were so certain of, just we get ripped wide open. And I think that's a whole other video as well. Anyway, to the extent that I just made any sense at all, thank you for watching. Just do you. Be you. The true, authentic you. And when your mind starts to tell you all the things that you're not and what a loser you are, no, you're not. You're a gift from God. You are from God. I mean, whatever belief you have, there's the divinity in all of us. And we're all here for our own unique reason. And you bring something to the table that no one else does. And no one else can. If they could, you wouldn't be here. I think that's a slap in the face to whatever you believe in. If you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be. There would be no point. But you are. So with that, love and light to every one of you. Thank you for all the people that reached out to me and for making this journey a little bit more bearable as I go through it, and actually waking me up, you know, to the truth of who I am. And hopefully I can, you know, reciprocate that in any way that I can. Anyway, love and light to all of you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks.